What's up, travelers? Prinston Hicks coming to you from the Centerverse. I'm here at downtown Houston at the Worthing Center. And what I thought I'd talk about today is the idea of pain being something that's good for you. Now, a lot of us want to avoid pain. A lot of us don't want to step outside our comfort zone. So I want to talk about how pain can actually be good for you. And once we establish those emotional anchors towards pain, it gives us a clearer picture of reality. And also, how do we manage pain and thinking about the trial and error process? So I just want to talk about all these things about how we can use pain to our advantage, and we can look at pain as sometimes a good thing in the long term. I think when a lot of people think about pain, they think about physical pain, or they just want to avoid pain altogether. If something feels a little bit uncomfortable, they don't want to do it. They want to make sure they stay away from pain as much as possible. This is actually one of the cognitive biases, and I talk about them often. The pain avoidance tendency, that's our mind wanting to avoid pain. Anything that causes us pain, we're going to immediately want to avoid it. Now, I think you have to go against this when it comes to building anything in your life that's substantial. Say, for example, success, or if you're working on a project, anything long term, you have to experience some type of pain in order to grow from it. So I remember I learned this lesson very young, and I remember before there really was a lot of auto-saving features on like Word documents and things of that nature. I was doing a project. It was like 10 pages long, and this is the first time I ever typed a paper this long. And I remember that I was always told, make sure you save your work often, save your work often, save your work often. And of course I logically understood that. I knew that I should save my work often, but what happened was I hadn't internalized it. I hadn't built that emotional anchor to it. So what happened is it was the day of a thunderstorm, and this was like maybe 2 or 3 days before the paper was actually due. So I was actually doing good. I didn't procrastinate to the end. So I'm working on the paper. Keep in mind, I've typed 7 pages. I'm 7 pages in and I haven't saved it. I'm just motoring through it. And the lights went out, whole house went dead, and I completely lost all my work. Now, I've been working on that paper for a long time, the entire day in fact, and what I found was not saving it. I actually fell a little bit behind because the last end of the paper took a little bit longer to write, but had to stay up late, like 2 days before the project, in order to finish it. Now, needless to say, from that point on, I never went without saving my work again. Even today, I still save my work because that emotional anchor that I built at that point. So it's important to firstly use pain to establish emotional anchors. Now, of course, somebody could teach you a concept, or we could talk about a concept, or even if you're watching this, you could understand the concept when I explain it to you that you have to go through pain. But till you understand what pain can teach you, and you understand it from more of a emotional standpoint rather than just a logical standpoint, yeah, I understand that I should do this. It's like if somebody tells you to be persistent. You understand you should be persistent. Be persistent. Always persist, persist, persist. But until you are persistent and you go through the pain of rejection, the pain of failure, and understanding that being persistent can actually produce some type of result or produce some type of success, you're never gonna go through fully with it because you haven't built that emotional anchor to it. I think another important factor in learning to use pain to your advantage is establishing a clear picture of reality. Now, a lot of people always wonder, how do you develop your own style, or you develop your own independent judgment? So, for example, even like with these video blogs, I have to try a bunch of different things in order to understand what's the best way to move forward, what's the best way to kind of find my style. Now, when you start off, it's going to be hard to find your style because you have to go through the pain of maybe doing something wrong, doing something the incorrect way, or things maybe not looking as nice as you would like them to look in order to find that style. So that's the initial pain. It helps you establish a clearer picture of reality. So, for example, you have a luxury of believing certain ideas. There's certain ideas that you believe, you think they're true. In your mind, there's no way these ideas can't be true, but pain takes the luxury of ideas away from you. So it's like if you were living with your parents when you were younger. You had certain luxuries or certain ideas that you may have believed until you actually had to support yourself. Now, by looking at this is how we form our own independent, or we form a clear picture of reality, because pain, going through pain, it really doesn't allow us to believe some of the things we believe. We have to accept certain realities because we go through the pain. It's actually really hot out here, and this is an excellent example of just enduring the pain in order to produce something great, or to produce something at all. So, for example, if you're supporting yourself and you don't want to work hard, you feel like there's not a lot of work that you have to put in order to get to some type of result. And when you start feeling the hunger pain in your stomach, you're going to know how much you have to work. Or if you're building a business, say, and you go through a lot of different hardships, you go through a lot of different pain trying to work a little bit of time, or trying to put the minimum amount of value in, and you see yourself getting no results, well, then you have to calibrate. provided you don't quit and you're thinking about value the right way, and you have the, like I say, the ability to just sit with that pain and go through that pain in order to come out stronger on the other end. But what about the trial and error process? Now, I think this is one of the biggest things that's misunderstood about pain, that trial and error is probably one of the most important parts of achieving anything or doing anything in business. There's going to be a trial and error period. But if you understand that you're going to have to go through some pain trying things and testing things and doing things differently in order to build some type of unique business, then you're never going to build something substantial, or you're just going to build something that's run-of-the-mill or something that's very average. Now, that's one of the harsh truths, but that's the importance of pain. When you take that failure trying something, and maybe people don't like it, maybe people hate it completely, maybe people criticize you, maybe you get humiliated, whatever the case may be, that's the pain you have to go through. But each of those failures, quote unquote, that you go through is actually leading you to a success, provided you keep going. So that's the trial and error process. You're gonna have to try new things. You have to do things differently in order to get to a certain point where you have something unique, or you've built up enough reference experiences to the failures in order to create some type of success, and you already know what should be done because you've been through that trial and error process. So I think it's important to talk about how this all ties together. And one of the biggest things that you have to learn about pain is not just to understand how pain can influence you or how it can work for you, but also understanding how to manage it. One thing about doing anything or developing a business or going through anything, any process that takes a long time to reach success, is that there's going to be pain involved. But there's going to be a lot of things that come up to try to knock you off course. There's going to be things that try to keep you from moving forward. I could use an example with this video blog. This is actually my second time shooting this video blog, because this time I completely lost the audio. All the audio got deleted. And when I got home, I looked at the video, I saw the audio was missing. I thought, well, maybe similar to another video I did, I could just put it out and the audio would be good enough, I guess you say, just to keep the principle of always not worrying about perfection and putting things out. But actually this time the audio was completely scrapped. In the camera, you couldn't hear anything because there's a lot of ambient noise going on around here, and you couldn't hear my voice at all. So it was completely unusable. So I had to, once again, plan to come out and shoot it. So that was just the first list of problems. And then after that, my computer crashed. Everything, I lost everything. Now, luckily enough, a couple months ago, I kind of got paranoid about this, and I used the foresight of, once again, like I said earlier in the video, of not backing up my work. And I went and bought something to back up all my work. So all my client work and all those things would be saved. But all those things happened. But the fact of the matter still remained that the video had to get shot. And this video had to come out in order for me to continue with my objectives and continue with my plans as far as my business and as far as my channel goes. So I think it's important to understand that there's going to be ups and downs. And as I'm experiencing the ups and downs, I impart that knowledge to you. I bring that knowledge to you. That's why I talk about success mindsets in the video blog, that no matter what's happening, you still have to keep focused. You have to keep that clear focus in order to get things accomplished and not really dwell so much on the good or bad. You have to take that mindset that you're never a victim. Everything that's happening is happening for you. So to wrap this up, I hope you can see how using pain to your advantage can help you develop a clear sense of reality. I think it's important to establish those emotional anchors in order to really get a sense of what you need to do next. Also, gives you a clear picture of reality. Now, this is definitely how we develop that independent judgment, understanding what actually is our thoughts and not the thoughts that were given to us by other people or social conditioning. We use these thoughts and use this pain to melt away the layers that are really unuseful to us. And also thinking about managing pain, just the trial and error process, and not letting pain throw you off course, and continuing to move forward and using pain to your advantage, understanding that things don't happen to you, they happen for you, and using everything to your advantage. So as usual, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. This is probably one of the most honest videos I had, because this is the first time that I really start talking about concepts, and I hope to bring you more concepts in the future that talk about the journey as I'm going through it, as well as feature other people that I know that are going through the journey, and you will be able to see the entire process from start to finish. So as usual, if there's anything you want to hear me discuss on this video blog, leave me a comment below or send a link to this email. As usual, like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.